Hello everyone, and today I have a special Dying Light 2 video for you. To start things off strong now that the Nightmare mode and some community requested quality of life features have been introduced, I know how much people are hungry for more and bigger bangers that the development team has to offer. Before I start, if you come to enjoy the video, liking and subscribing goes a long way and is greatly appreciated. For what is publicly known is that the development team is now shifting focus hard onto Tower Raid and DLC2, and as far as we know, the mod tools that were also shown in the roadmap seem to still be in development, as well as we have not heard anything otherwise in regards to a cancellation. On the note of delays, I want them to get the tools right, as I am sure they will release in beta just as the dev tools were, and of course they are still updating and expanding on that, but I would like for them to see what worked in Dying Light 1 and also expand on that front, and with mod.io basically already building the bridge for cross-platform experiences, now we just have to wait patiently for them to release the tools in a fair state. I am also aware that a lot of players are somewhat disappointed and annoyed that Techland is not going the Steam Workshop route this time, and I feel I have a pretty fair explanation, so hear me out. When it came to Dying Light 1 custom maps on console, from what I remember, there was only a small handful of maps that were added when it comes to adding content on consoles. The rules were a bit more tight as optimization has to be considered above all else, so anyone on console downloading and playing the map do not run into any crashes or other issues in the background, so developers would playtest them and pretty much ship them that way. PC players of course had limitless playtime to try any map that was posted on the Steam Workshop, and there was a lot more than sadly console could ever enjoy. So with mod.io, it is basically built to close that gap that anyone, no matter the platform, can enjoy the content that map makers and modders create, and as someone who used to mod a handful of Call of Duty games, taking that notion into consideration, I would want everyone to enjoy what the community has created, and since community maps now have co-op functionality, you no longer have to play alone. Start up a map, have a fantastic time, and recommend it to your friend. Then, the creator pretty much gets more props and recognition, pretty much a win-win situation. Now for the functionality of mod.io incorporating with Dying Light 2. That process solely depends on the studio. As far as I know, with Bone Labs, all you would have to do is download the mod if you play it through Steam VR, and then just drag a folder into the Bone Labs mods folder. Pretty much that easy. Then with Deep Rock Galactic, the mod.io library is pretty much embedded into its own dedicated section within the UI of the game. So pretty much with those two avenues that Techland can go into with accessing mods, it all depends on the process and structure in which it can be easy for the users, and so far I have not heard anything bad about mod.io's modding process, and just the fact that their whole basis is closing that platform gap that I had mentioned earlier, I'd say we're in for a pretty easy treat. Now that the modding rambling is out the way, let's dive into Tower Raid. First things first, I want to greatly thank Oni Zombies for allowing me to use his interview with Timos and McTullough to grab very juicy details to share with you all, and come up with some juicy theories, and share future news with you all, and learn some amazing developer insight from Timo. A link to the interview will be in the description, and I highly recommend you all to listen to it in its full entirety and give a like for me and let him know who sent you. Timo explains the reason for the Tower Raid having quite a delay within the winter roadmap, saying,
First of all, maybe let me explain why Tower Raids skipped the fall-winter roadmap where they were put in initially. This happened because we realized that we can actually do more with the modes than we initially planned. There was an idea for them, rather simple, but as we kept working on it, we realized we can do more and actually try to build this into something a little bit more surprising, a little bit more even more replayable than planned at first. And that's basically the reason why we need a little bit more time, because we feel internally at Techland that we can do more with the mode, and that with those additional few months we can really create something that will reach even maybe exceed the expectations of the community in terms of quality and gameplay. Of course, it's super hard to exceed expectations of Dying Light community, so maybe I shouldn't be overhyping it. But definitely to deliver something that's better than we wanted to deliver initially.
Now to start off, I want to give massive props to Timo and his studio as a whole with having such great communication with us and being honest and realistic as to why certain things happen and why delays happen within reason, as this definitely makes the fanbase feel closer with the team, especially with the Night Runner program, surveys, and overall replying to as many comments and emails as they can to ensure they can deliver the best content as it can be. Of course, Techland has had to share bumpy roads with us, but they still have stood by to listen to our frustrations, outrages, and overall critical criticism for the game, striving to want the game to be in a better state each day. So after hearing that, I am hoping a lot that they take a hard roguelike avenue to also increase replayability and have some sort of card set where certain cards or items can give you bonuses, but some can also come at a risk within the buff of like maybe some kind of thing like risk of rain or Hades. But what do you guys think? Would that be something you would want to do, or do you have your own ideas to share? Think long and hard on your idea and let me know in the comments, as I am super curious as to what you guys would like instead. Now some may ask, what inspired Tower Raid as an idea? And with that, Timo has quite a juicy answer with that.
Tower Raid is this new mode that will be added to Dying Light 2 Stay Human. Obviously, it takes place in an interior, in a tower, where you have to climb to the top of it, overcoming many challenges. It is being designed that it offers a lot of replayability, so each playthrough should be significantly different in terms of gameplay, in terms of situations that you encounter. Of course, there will be rewards attached to the mode. So when you start playing the mode, you will get a new set of rewards that you will be able to complete by playing the mode.
Now, upon learning that, I am also glad that Techland is also taking quite unique risks with certain ideas to add on to its zombie apocalypse game, as I know some people have said that Dying Light 2 has lost its modern Dark Ages identity with how NPCs look, how the city looks, etc. But I am still glad they are exploring many avenues to bring content across the board for everyone to enjoy, as there is of course a percentage of people who do not care for the identity or the lore that much, and just want a fun hack and slash zombie game with tons of content to enjoy, as I feel a lot of people pick up the game, finish this content, then move on to buy the next game. And I think longevity content is one of the many pillars that is missing in the gaming space as a whole for the most part, and it is of course a good thing that Techland is of course adding more content, but also doing unique twists such as tower raids. Next up is a talk of DLC2. To lightly recap a couple of things I have talked about in an older DLC2 theory video I had made long ago, was that the leaked codename was titled New Frontier, and I deliberately did not talk about the script too much as to obviously not get spoiled, but also knowing that leaks in general should be taken with a grain of salt, and that with the delay of the DLC also being announced this year in 2024, now we know nothing of what's going on. Nothing crucial has been leaked. There has been no news on the matter, no trailers, no teasers, besides the Morse codes that we got for the first anniversary, which I'm kind of sad we did not get more of for the second anniversary, as those codes sparked a lot of hype for the DLC alone. But now that we know nothing of what's to come in detail of DLC 2, that can pretty much be seen as a good or bad thing, of course, and that feeling is pretty much up to you, the player, the viewer, and how much faith you have in Techland to deliver an amazing DLC worth your money and your time. I only had asked Timon if DLC 2 will be going the route that players have been wanting of a, quote, the following 2.0, or it's moving away from that and just continuing the story, and with that, Timon gives quite the response.
To be honest, it's like the best way for me would be to not say anything to this, because
Okay.
like there are
Figured I'd shoot my
elements
shot though.
you gave me two options, and there are elements in it that actually I can take from both of the options. But to be honest, I understand the following analogy, right? Because this was also the second DLC for the original Dying Light. It did some great things. I was super involved in that, and I think this is my favorite of Dying Light projects so far, and I think it's the same for majority or a lot of many members of the community. But on the other hand, I would like this one to stand out on its own and kind of be seen as not, like, you could say Bloody Ties was Bozak's Horde for Dying Light 2. You could say that this one is the following for Dying Light 2. But actually, I would like all of those projects, but this one specifically, to be looked at as something kind of unique,
something that has its own identity,
different, something that has its own identity. And I hope we'll be able to deliver on that. Where we are, I'm quite convinced that we can. Of course, it still needs polish. We still need to see how the final project will turn out. But I think it will be very, very, very exciting for all of our Dying Light fans and all of the members of our community.
So at least we have that confirmation of it being its own identity, which I am hoping is delivered really well in regards to storytelling, environments, and hopefully many new enemy encounters that can help shape the new world we'll dive into, and hopefully get as many theories and questions answered, while piling even more theories to talk about for a potential DLC 3, which of course depends on the reception and revenue that DLC 2 brings that pleases the higher ups to continue pushing resources into that field, so only time will tell. Also, there is a chance that Techland will be at this year's Summer Games Fest, and we could get a lot more than just a 15-second teaser for a roadmap. And that is pretty much all the news so far for the future of Dying Light 2. I am hyped as always for each new upcoming update, and I am super curious and excited on what DLC 2 brings to us and how much replayability it will entail. Once again, check out the full interview from Oni linked in the description. It is very informative on a lot of areas I did not cover in this video, from development process, feedback, and video game adaptations. Are you guys hyped for the tower raid update? Are you still holding hope for DLC 2? Let me know all that you have to say in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. It greatly helps out the channel, and as always, good night and good luck.